What's up, everyone? This is James Quilty, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Your Upline. And today I wanted to talk about sometimes doing what everybody else is doing is not necessarily the best way to build your business. I'm going to get into that as soon as we get into this episode. So let's get to the intro and let's get to it. How do you build a successful business in network marketing when everyone you know thinks it's a scam? How do you achieve that dream lifestyle when 99% of distributors quit within their first year, broke and worse off than when they started? If you ask the so-called experts or talk to your family and friends, they will tell you that it's impossible, that it can't be done. But it is being done, and it's happening each and every day by a select group of people that you probably never even heard of. My name is James Quilty. Join me as I seek to find out how these elite few beat the odds and succeed in network marketing. Welcome to Beyond Your Upline. So what exactly am I talking about when I say doing what everybody else is doing is not necessarily the best way to build your business? So what I'm referring to is traditional network marketing. Traditional network marketing will make you broke, but a new way of building your business will actually help to not only rank advance you, but also people in your team. What exactly do I mean by that? Well, all right. So when I learned this, it was actually a few years ago, and my wife and I had just sold our fitness business. We had made the decision. We had two children at the time, our two girls. This was before our son was born. We were living in Florida. We had been running our fitness training boot camp for about 5 years at that time. No, it was about 4 years. And we had made the decision that what we wanted to move a little bit closer to family. We didn't want our children to grow up only seeing relatives on holidays like I did when I was growing up. I said I don't want that. I want to be closer. So we and I was from California. My wife was from Texas. California was too expensive for us, and we wanted to have a little bit more. Wanted our dollar to stretch a little bit, so we decided to move to Texas. So we sold that business and we moved to Texas. This was about 2016. And as I was, kind of, thinking like what we wanted to do, my wife and we decided, well, we're going to go full time in building our network marketing business. All right. And because at the time it was just part time. Right. And so we decided to go, all in. Well, what we found was it wasn't as lucrative as it was before because we had that fitness business. So we had an influx of leads that were coming in, right? We had people coming in to our program. We always would, and orientation, we would upsell them or give them the option, to get on, some of our products. And even if they didn't at that time, we still had their email address. And even if they didn't sign up, for our program, we still had captured their contact information. And so we were, emailing them, updating them. And that was how we got a lot of our customers. And that was how, we were able to get a lot of our business builders. And that's where we had a lot of business momentum because we had that influx of leads that were coming in. But when we moved, we didn't have that anymore. We didn't know anybody in the area. The only people that we did know was my wife's parents, right? And that was it. And so our our business kind of took a little bit of a nosedive, so to speak. It got kind of stagnant. And yes, we were out in the community. We were doing everything that our upline was telling us. We had gym memberships. We were getting involved in the community. The place that we had moved to had a community center, had a club, and so we were meeting people and stuff. But we just didn't have the influx of leads continuously like we did with our business. And so we were kind of struggling, right? And we were doing we even started printing out flyers, and we were posting them on cars and stuff. And so whenever we go to the grocery store, luckily we didn't get chased out, but I don't recommend you doing that now because some some businesses say it's actually illegal, and so I don't want you to get in trouble. But that's what we were doing to generate leads, and it was very difficult. It was very difficult to get in front of people, and it was at that time I was like, this is not working. And so I started looking for, well, how do we build our business? And that was when I came across Russell Brunson, and I came across Mike Dillard and Danny Johnson, and these were people who were doing things not or they weren't doing the things that were the traditional way. They were thinking outside of the box. And one of the biggest things that they did was they were utilizing the power of the internet in order to capture leads, in order to get enough people in front of, or to get enough people in front of them so that they can present their product and their business opportunity. And so that was my introduction, and I started realizing, I was like, well, do I need a website? I don't really want to, because some of them were doing blogs, right? And I was like, I didn't like writing. I didn't like English in school, let alone having to do that now. I didn't really want to do that, right? But there had to be another way, and that was where I came across Russell Brunson, who had built his business utilizing sales funnels, right? And at that time, sales funnels were kind of new. Now, the majority of people, everyone is talking about a funnel, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's not a website, okay? A sales funnel is basically a series of pages that leads your prospect to a sale, and that's all that it is. So it's kind of like a um, a salesman, all right, one of your best salesmen that has the pitch, that is continually pitching people 24/7, 365 days out of the year, without you actually having to be there, without you actually having to do anything. Does that make any sense? That's the power of sales funnels. And that's when I realized that, because Russell Brunson was talking about the new way of building businesses, and this is one of the things that he used when he was building his network marketing business. And I was like, wow, okay. And I saw the power of it, because I was like, I can't get in front of enough people physically, right? I can only talk to so many people in line at the grocery store. I can only, call so many people throughout the day. But with a sales funnel set up online, guess what? I have something that is out there with my message that can continually be in front of people 24/7 without me having to do that. So whether I'm with my children, or if I'm sick, or if I'm doing something else, this electronic salesman, the sales funnel, is doing the pitch, is closing people, is leading people to the sale. And that was when I realized that the new way of building a network marketing business is going to be a lot more profitable than the old way. The old way, yeah, and again, there's some people that are still doing that, and that is awesome, doing that belly to belly, and that is great. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but if you want to build your business, if you want to rank advance, if you want to make this a career and go to six figures and beyond, you have to be in front of a lot of people. Now, there was a study that was done, and it was from there was a question that was actually, it was on a podcast, actually. It wasn't a study, it was a podcast. And the podcaster was actually one of the top network marketing business builders at the time. And then I can't remember how many people he had in his organization. It was like millions. And he had grown it, and he had been in the business for a while. And the podcast host asked him, he said, so how many people do you actually need in your organization, in your business, to actually get to a point where it starts growing on its own without you having to continually feed the beast, right? And he said, oh, that's simple. He said, we have noticed that when you hit 1,000 people, and this is not like front line, this is just total, right, in your organization. When you have 1,000, at that point, that's where it starts hitting critical mass, where it starts, that compound interest effect starts happening, and it starts growing without you even being involved. So if you wanted to step back, you could do that, and it would continually build. He said 1,000 people in your organization. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, well, how many people would I have to actually talk to in order to build an organization of 1,000 people? You'd have to talk to a lot of people. And mind you, a lot of us are not doing this 24/7. We're not in front of or on our phone or in front of our computer for 8 hours a day. And even if we were, how many conversations can you actually have in an 8 hour period? You're limited, right? Even if you're the best closer, even if everybody that you talk to, you closed, right? there's still only so many. And let's just say a conversation, and again, for the whole, this for all intents and purposes, let's just say that it takes you from start to finish for somebody to close, let's just say it's 60 minutes. All right. And this is just, let's just say you're going through the introduction and stuff like that. And let's just say that these are not people that you know, but this is new people. All right. For a product or for your business. Let's just say that it's an hour. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, actually, let's just say it's 30 minutes. Right. Okay. So if you close every single person, and you are working 8 hours a day, so that means what? That's two people an hour. So what is that? That's like 16 people, right? 16 people a day. And let's just say you don't work, and let's just say you work like every single day. So what is that? 16 times five, roughly 60 people, give or take, right? I'm not a mathematician, but roughly like like 60, like a week. How many? And again, let's just say, for the sake of supposing that you're awesome and you close every single people, how long is that going to take you in order to hit like 1,000 people? And let's just say that the people that you are recruiting, they can't close as well, right? Let's just say that they're not very good at it, right? And let's just say they're not even doing it 8 hours a day. They're only doing like 2 hours a day, right? Which means that you're going to have to try and close them. So you are now having to divert your attention to what? Closing their people. How long is that going to take you? It's going to take a while, isn't it? That's why I say traditional network marketing, when I learned this, makes you broke. It does not allow you to build a business to the level that will help to sustain your family long term. It's going to take a long time, right? And not a lot of people are willing to put in 4, 5, 6, 10 years into something. They're just not, right? And I know we can go through all the hyperbole of well, how long did it take you to go to school, or how long does it take you to lose weight, or how? I mean, yes, I understand that, but for the fact of the matter is, let's call a spade a spade. Most people are not willing to put forth that types of effort in order to build something like that, right? They need some sort of return on their investment, and they want it sooner, more so than later. And so, what is the way? And if you're out having to physically talk to people, it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be a very long time. But because in the day and age that we live in, guess what? We have the opportunity to be able to be everywhere all the time, 365 days out of the year. And how is that? By utilizing an online sales funnel, right? That means that you have something out there that is pitching. You have something out there that is closing. You have something out there. And the great thing is that if it's not working, or if you have like a new product or something like that, or you wanted to kind of tweak something, it doesn't take very long. Go ahead, pull it up, type it, put it in, drag and drop, and then it's out there producing, for you. So with today's technology and with the speed that everything is happening, what I learned from studying with Russell Brunson is that an online sales funnel, the new way of doing network marketing, will help to accelerate your results. It helps to get people, it helps you to get your message, not you physically, but your message in front of more people, because I physically cannot talk to enough people in order to build my business. But when I have something online, when I have something that's working 365 days out of the year, then now I can hit that critical mass a lot sooner. And now I have a tool that I could share with my team saying, hey, look, when we are building our business, look, we are a sales and marketing team, and we are promoting health products that help people regrow their hair, whatever it may be, right? And so what we utilize is a simple sales system that we use online in order to acquire, close, and also fulfill those leads, right? Does that seem like something you'd be, oh yeah, of course I will. Now, does it take a little bit of understanding? Yeah, it does. It means that you're gonna have to learn some marketing. You're gonna have to start thinking like a business owner. But the great thing is that once it's set up, man, it takes off, and then it frees you up to really start building your team. Because here's the deal. Whenever we had to close people, whenever we have to get on the physically have to get on the phone, with their prospects and stuff, guess what? That takes away from our personal production. It always does. And yes, we're helping them. And yes, of course, we're building a team, but we still have our own personal production. And I know nowadays, especially with the highly I want to say divisive, but the environment that the government has created, we have to make sure that we're doing things all on the up and up, because there's so many people that are out there that are complaining, saying, "Hey, this is a scam. It took my money. Blah blah blah." Right, and the FTC is waiting for cases like that to shut down companies, and so companies have to be very diligent to make sure that they cross all the T's and they dot all the I's. And one of the big things is that that the company has to have, at least at a minimum, 50% of all their volume has to come from customers that are not associated with the business whatsoever. So what does that mean? That we really need to focus in, especially as affiliates and business developers, we have to focus in on acquiring customers, and just customers, people who just want to buy the product and have nothing to do with it, with the business. It's almost like, again, like I keep saying, build your business first with the customers, and then start building with the business developers on the back end, secondary, because you build a huge customer base. Guess what? Not only are you in compliance, but you also make the government happy, and you make your company happy. You're happy. But the fact is that you can't do that personally if you're trying to close other people's prospects. And the only way that you can get around that is utilizing the internet. And the fastest way so far with all of our technology is utilizing now this is not a website, but it's a sales funnel. It's a series of pages that have a specific message that takes a person from start, and it leads them all the way to the sale, and it does it automatically. All right, does that make any sense? So that's all that I have for you today. But again, I'm sharing some of these concepts because, listen, if you want to build your business, especially in this day and age, you can't keep doing it the old way, right? Just because you love, like my wife and I, we started watching A Little House on the Prairie, and when we started getting our kids to watch it, and we really love it, right? And we're like, wouldn't it be great to get a house, a cabin out in the woods? And they're like, yeah, to kind of live the simple life. And they're like, absolutely. Which is great. But the fact of the matter is that not a lot of people are hooking up a horse to a buggy, right? And or they're not you're riding horses, right? There we have cars, which are much faster and more efficient than using a horse. Now, I can love horses, and of course, I can go out and I can play with them, or not play with them, but ride them and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, if I still want to progress my business, I got to start utilizing technology that is available, that is going to help me get there faster, quicker, with less effort. And a car helps me to do that, right? And so the same thing with your business. Traditional ways in network marketing is like hooking a horse up to a buggy. Utilizing online sales funnels is like using a car or a Ferrari. Which one? Both of you is going to get you to the destination, but which one is going to get you there faster? Obviously the Ferrari, obviously the car, right? So that's why I wanted to share with sales funnels. And so if you want to know more about that, I go into more detail into our Facebook group. So, the link is in the description. Go ahead and you can click the link, ask to join, and then you can learn more about how to utilize online sales funnels to not only build your customer base, but also to build your business with your business builders. And it will help you to duplicate a lot faster, because no matter how good that you are, you can't duplicate yourself, right? But you can duplicate something that you put together online, which is something that's very, very simple and easy. But that's all that I had for you. Just want to get some thoughts out to you. I hope this gave you some value. As always, I love speaking with you, and I thank you for showing up. And I'm going to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for listening. If you want to hear more of how the top income earners are actually building their network marketing business beyond their family and friends, please subscribe so you don't miss any of the secret hacks that I uncover.